Hey there! This is a brand new experimental format I'm trying to talk about board games. Fox is here!
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, and we had all sorts of plans. Well, I say we had plans. I had plans. Unfortunately, those plans crash landed into what June is like for me. It's my sister's birthday, and I gotta get stuff done by tonight, which you, not knowing the scheduling, do not realize is the day before this thing needs to get uploaded, so I have no time to do a complicated
All right,
render.
let's go. We on the clock, people.
Yes, so we're just going to have a chat about this game, Fog of Love, a 2017 game by Floodgate Games that has had a bunch of expansions and already a bunch of people talk about it, and probably your favorite Let's Players of board games have already talked about it. So what in the world can we bring to this? Why, we bring the Goblin perspective. Yes, part of the technology I was trying to uncover for this was letting Fox live draw on the screen.
Oh, I love this idea.
It's so cool, and then I realized it means, at least as currently set up, I have to be sitting here doing Control Z for
I
Fox.
need a lot more shortcut keys.
Things do not go well for the homestyle water.
Probably a position where I'm facing front onto the screen instead of sideways.
Uh-huh.
So I can at least close my circles somewhat neatly.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway.
It's fine.
So, yeah, Fog of Love. It is an board game. This has been on our list for games we want to get and play together for a while now.
This has been on my wish list for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Just like,
Which
when
is
it came out.
Super impressive because it's 9 years old.
Shut up.
I think
But
it's
like 9 years is like 10 years.
You're completely correct. It is true. It is like 10 years.
Yes.
So, in board game terms, this is a potentially cooperative hidden role game where players are going to be presented with dilemmas that offer them the opportunity to score different types of points, competing currencies, and have to make decisions about what they want and what their partner wants, all operating with a level of ambiguity about goals and purposes. That's like the big brain academic way to describe it. Practically speaking, this is a game about making a really shonky romantic comedy happen.
Yeah, I don't know about the comedy part, but, could go either way.
Most of the scenarios under Sweet and Serious are at least designed, in my mind, to reference rom-coms.
They're tropey and whatnot, but most of the stuff in drama is not.
Yeah. To further elaborate, the game presents the players with sets of decks, Sweet, Serious, and Drama. At the start of the game, you can only... Well, actually, no. In the scenarios we've played, at the start of the game, you can only use cards from... You can only draw cards from the Sweet deck, so you don't have a lot of opportunities for Serious and Drama moments. Then, in the middle of the game, you can draw from all three decks, and then in the late game, it's, sorry, we are all Serious all the time. And that creates a flowing 3-act structure that then comes up to a finale that says, hey, how did you do at achieving your goals? And broadly, like, as a game designer, this game is pretty much flawless. Like, the systems in this game all work really well. It does good jobs of hiding its information where it needs to be hidden. There's room for information to leak intentionally. It kind of uses all the parts of the buffalo, as it were, when it comes to systems. Which means the question of whether or not this game is enjoyable tends to come down with the fiction that those systems are then used to present. Basically, is this game about funny romantic comedies good at making a funny romantic comedy?
Yeah, I'm of two minds about this. Because I do, we're very gamey players. I mean, that's not fair. We're also fucking role players. Like, we're D&D nerds and we played Eyes on the Prize and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it's not that we don't like playing rules light stuff, but if you give us rules, and indeed, this game can be quite hard to win, so it really encourages you to be pretty sweaty about it a lot of the time. And I feel like that's to its detriment fairly often.
Yeah, it is a shockingly sweaty game.
Yeah, and it doesn't need that, and it's at odds with the fact that it wants you to lean into the fiction. Like, we just sort of skipped over a lot of places where I was like, describe the thing that's happening in this scene or whatever, because
Like, I'm sorry, I need sincerity points. Move, move, move.
Really only needed like one sentence to like, to cover that fiction, and it didn't encourage like a full roleplay scenario, which is both good and bad depending on how much you want to do improv in your board game. For a lot of people, that's not very much.
So I talked about how it uses all of its systems and whatnot, and what the game presents you with is these, for lack of a better term, competing axes.
Wow, these people are bad at this game.
They might be intentionally doing this, where you have 6 polarities, is a best describe the term, of ways a person can be that are, if I remember correctly, it's discipline, curiosity, extroversion, sensitivity, gentleness, and sincerity. And you can be good or bad at them at the same time. So, for example, in this example image, we have someone here who has 2 points in discipline and 3 points in negative discipline. That means that their overall net in discipline is 1 point negative. But there can be goals that say, hey, have you got 3 negative discipline? Get a thing. Have you got 2 positive discipline? Get a thing. This would normally be, like, as a designer, my impulse whenever you have this kind of polarity is use a slider. Just make a thing that moves back and forth on a track, because then you have fewer components, less things to monitor, and it's a little easier. But by doing it this way, Fog of Love allows for things like that aggregate incorrectness. It's possible for a character to be both very disciplined when they're disciplined and very undisciplined when they're not.
I haven't actually seen that. And in fact, the trait rules specifically say you can't pick opposing goals because they're impossible.
Yes.
But all I've seen is net result or shared net result, one way or another.
And I understand that part of the harder levels of the game and expansions add to that, so...
It would be a good thing to expand on, because I like characters with that sort of contradictory tension in their personality traits.
Yeah.
I do think they fucked it up by not naming both ends of the axis, just giving it one name, and you can be good at it or bad at it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, introversion, extroversion is a natural example, because those are equal things. It's not good if you're extroverted and bad if you're introverted.
There's also an unfortunate side effect of these all being stated as wholly positive traits that then you can be bad at.
And that's why extroversion, if you have low extroversion, that implies that you're bad at extroversion, not just an introvert, which is kind of shitty.
Also, I just realized that the nature of the graphic means that the pink are showing up as white. You don't get any white tokens in this game like that. They should be pink, but I've used a chroma key filter.
Oh, that's what's going on. They've got like white and gray counters. I was a little confused. It's fine, whatever.
I can draw around under it and get pretty much no effect, but yeah.
The pink and blue coating is mid anyway.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting system. I like it, but you might notice over here we have our player traits. Sorry, this is your features and your job. This person's a chemist who is tall with strong arms and they're hairy. You also have hidden things that are entirely about what you think and what you're after, and they're goals like having wrong layer. Their goals like being hypocritical, insecure, or task-oriented. And please note, being hypocritical as a trait requires you to have lots of negative sincerity. That's not a thing that I think most players are going to want to aim for. Like, the vibe is very different as far as romantic comedy goes, you know?
Yes, yeah, not all the traits match up with the kind of story they're trying to tell. Like, they just wouldn't necessarily be things that you'd have in these stories. A lot of them do, and of course it's up to you to interpret this in a way that works, but it's easy to create a feel-bad kind of scenario where in order to play to the traits you're given, which you only have some agency in picking, you might have to create a character you hate and make choices you dislike or disagree with. And that's not an invalid outcome, but I don't think it's a good one.
This is a great example of player taste versus system design.
Yeah, like it's not wrong as a rules design decision, but it does mean that the game is like just sometimes not fun to win.
Yeah, especially for you. Like, there are going to be some people who are like, oh wow, I've got a complete cretin. This is going to be really funny. I bet I can. It would be hard to win with a cretin. And that's really interesting. By comparison, you value story, and I think you said something when we were playing it, which is a shared victory is the only victory.
Oh yeah, the tutorial scenario. Oh, we should talk about that separately, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk about
the first game we played. I wound up with basically an unwinnable combination of traits and options. And
well, not quite unwinnable. It just means that I couldn't win.
Well, I mean that's what I mean when I say unwinnable.
Yeah.
I got to a situation where the only ending I could make happen was the one where I didn't care about Talen's character.
Yeah.
And just push my own goals. And I don't know if you would have gotten a success on your end or not without me going for that, but because my motivations changed partway through, it just meant that I was hurting you.
Yeah, which is, this is where we get to the point of, this is where I get to the idea of, like, what's the fiction it's telling? This is a thing that wants to tell a lot of different types of fiction, and therefore it's trying to go in all sorts of different directions and seeing what interesting things result. But we aren't looking for a game that can play out no children, for example.
Talen, what did you say this game was for making?
Romantic comedies.
And is No Children a rom-com?
No.
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 And that's what I'm getting at. Like, the tropes can generally work in a rom-com, even the more drama ones. But I think what this actually does is create a romantic melodrama. Because in a rom-com, the characters aren't gonna break up at the end.
Maybe more of them should.
Maybe a lot of them should. Most of them are horrible couples, and rom-coms are in general concerned with making shenanigans happen until the conclusion of the movie, which is the start of the relationship. And at that point, we lose all fucking interest in a relationship once it's begun, which is a garbage way to do things as far as I'm concerned. But if the goal is to create that kind of a story, it's weird that there are so many bad endings.
It's definitely not romantic comedies as movies, even if the trope space it's drawing from is a lot of those. It's more of a romantic comedy TV series, where the big finale is, do these two stick together or not? But there aren't a lot of shows like that. Most of the rom-com series that I've known are also sitcoms, so they're things like, well, they have...
There's the status quo that is king.
I think there was in the 90s, and I cannot remember I think it's called Ned and Stacy, where the whole gimmick is they got married for the sake of a contract at one point, and they hate each other. And the end of the series, if I remember correctly, is them successfully finalizing a divorce and getting the hell out of each other's lives. Which, cool idea. But now at this point, saying all this aloud, I'm not sure I didn't hallucinate that.
The name sounds familiar, but there's a bit of a problem with 90s romantic sitcoms where you could jam any male name and any female name, and there's about a 50-50 chance that there's a show about that.
Yeah, thanks to the overwhelming success of Dahmer and Greg. I think that's also Chuck Lorre. So in a lot of ways, that's responsible for Big Bang Theory, which is responsible for Young Sheldon, which is responsible for, what is it, Steve Fails to Save the World, the sci-fi time-traveling series they've got now, which will have room in it for a Jerry O'Connell cameo, because he's also in the Big Bang Theory continuity. This is not relevant to any of this conversation. I just wanted to drop this on Fox at an unpleasant time.
I'm just mad because now there's a thing I don't hate about Big Bang Theory.
That it might have a Sliders reference in it? Yeah.
That would be the first thing I like about it.
It's the second thing for me, because
Actually, that's not true. I do like Americans Are Dumb.
Yeah. Stars are pretty.
Yeah.
But the other one is, in the comic book store, one of the characters who's always there who wears sweatpants, he's also wearing a City of Heroes t-shirt as his standard look. So, I'm down for that.
Alright, fine. Well, this is how Big Bang Theory gets you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fine.
It references things that are good and therefore fools you into thinking that it might be good. And then you realize it's just making fun of you to your normie parents.
Yep. Nonetheless, it also hates women. And
oh, it hates women.
And Fog of Love doesn't hate women. It is a little weird about sex.
It's weirdly sex negative, yeah. I suppose because if you're in the very tropey space, then... like, characters are always freaked out by sex shit, because if they would just chill with it and acted like mature adults, then it wouldn't be shenanigans.
Yeah, I want to gently nudge back against sex negative, per se, but it is lacking sex neutrality.
It's less sex positive than I might expect.
Yeah, you could, if there are cards that reference sex and sexual interactions, and those cards tend to have a strong reaction positively on stats and negatively on stats, but there's no, oh, no, that's okay, you go ahead and watch that erotic video on your own, I'm fine with that, and you're fine with that. There's no room for that.
Well, there might be an answer where you can say, I'm fine with that, but you'll get punished in terms of honesty, because it will assume you're lying. Like, nobody could be fine with their partner watching porn that they don't also enjoy.
It's a weird...
It's weird.
The other one we stumbled into was having sex in public, which, you know...
Yes.
It's hard for there to be the situation that does come up in real relationships where someone goes, hey, what about this thing that I'm a little interested in or kind of would like to try? And the other partner is like, no. Where the result is not...
Everyone's fine.
Where it's just like, oh, okay, I'm glad I asked. You have a boundary. Let's not be worried about it. But, like, also, romantic comedies don't tend to be built around the characters who are actually stable and good.
Once again, this does not create shenanigans. I think one of the things they should emphasize more heavily is that you will get a better result out of this if you intend to play a garbage fire of a person.
Well, yeah, and you know, my first character got sold up the river by his boyfriend.
It was so sad.
He's such a sincere, nice ex-con.
I didn't want to do it. Right near the end of he's an ex-con. His occupation is criminal at the start of the game. And right near the end of the game, Talen has a secret card, which is something that can come up where you hide it from the partner. Until a particular, it's like a trap card.
Yeah.
He's like, aha, you set up my trap card. I've been thinking about changing my job, and it's this lovely story where, he can turn over a new leaf and move on to a new profession. But, I needed points in the stat where you go, that's stupid. So I told him that was stupid, and he didn't get to change jobs, because apparently you can't do that unless your partner agrees. And he stayed a criminal and died miserable.
Yep, and alone.
No, we didn't break up. You can't break up in this scenario. You got stuck with me forever.
That's
forever in this miserable relationship that is unfulfilling and prevented you from from embarking on your new life.
I didn't reach my goals in my side of the game, but Fox met hers, which meant that her horrid little Kinesaki just, shook the criminal for money to support a lifestyle.
Bastard. Oh, it's terrible.
Great game. Absolutely incredible. So about that tutorial.
Yeah, I mean, tutorial mode, overall, great fucking idea. The game comes with the decks stacked for a first play, and there's a specific scenario for it, and this is all a great idea. And as you go through the decks, it'll be like, okay, this is the point where you played enough cards, because they know everything that's going to happen, right? Like, you can essentially script the first playthrough of the game. Problems I have with this, it's a little bit boring, because I've watched like 3 different streamers play Fog of Love now, and of course they've all started with the scenario, so I've seen that particular set of cards over and over.
That's really not a problem with the game.
Not really a problem with the game. It's just like a little note. But my greater issue with it is that it's a shorter scenario than most of them, and they say in the introduction it's going to be harder to reach your trait goals in this. And that to me is just an own goal. What it should say is treat the trait goals as if they're reduced by 1 or 2 or something like that.
You get a bonus to all trait goals.
Because you're setting people up for a feel-bad first playthrough. And that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, which we did.
I don't like that.
My criminal got a real shit life.
Yeah. Even though I managed to pull it out, but only just. And if I hadn't screwed him at the last minute, I wouldn't have gotten there.
Yep.
And that's ass. And the other thing is, if you're gonna stack the deck for the starting scenario, there are things I think are very inappropriate to have put in there for the scenario they claim that it is. Like, it's supposed to be a light-hearted, we just met and this is our first date getting to know each other kind of scenario. And one of the cards that always comes up with, do we want to go for an overseas vacation for several months together?
Weeks.
Either way.
It's still...
At all... is a thing, right? Like, it's wild that they chose that card.
It was like our third card.
Yeah, and it always is, Because that's how the stack deck works. And I just don't know why they chose that one. It's a weird fucking choice. A lot of them make sense. Like, what would we pose like if we wanted to take a photo together? I bought you some flowers. What kind of flowers would you prefer? That kind of shit. That's all very, like, early relationshipy kind of stuff. And then there's shit like, do you want to change your job for me? And like, no, we've dated twice. No. No, I don't.
Yep.
It's just a bit weird, even if you're trying not to be too sensible about it, which obviously you benefit from not being too sensible about stuff in this game.
Yeah. Now, the second scenario we played is called High School Sweethearts. Spoilers for a board game, I guess?
Spoilers for a 9-year-old board game, which is like 10 years.
But also, this one is randomized. We didn't get much of the stuff that's specific to this scenario.
It's true.
So we just kind of played a normal game of Fog of Love, which happened to have as a starting point of, like, things are probably going to be okay. Yeah, we had a really fun time, I think. I mean, okay, my bad. I'm speaking for we. That's inappropriate. I had a really fun time.
No, it was much, much more enjoyable. I was really kind of, was it a mistake to have this on my wish list for like 10 years? 9 years, which is like 10 years. But the second time we played it, I was a lot happier with it. And I think a lot of that is because neither of us got negative trait goals, for starters.
That's true.
And it was just a fuckload easier because the scenario was much longer, much more time to adjust the things you need to adjust. The screw over your partner and only care about your own happiness goal wasn't even in the possible goals.
Yes.
That got removed from this scenario.
Yeah.
And I will say this time around, my partner didn't give me 2 features at the beginning of the game that counted each other, so I was effectively 2 points down that I could have used for something.
And right there, you see this game encouraging you to be sweaty.
Yes. Yeah, Talen, in the first game, Talen gave my character, because you pick your goals for what your character wants things to be like, but your partner picks the traits, your outward traits.
Features.
Features. Yes, that they have observed about you. And those give you, like, starting stats, essentially. And Talen, because they seemed fun together, gave me a couple that happened to raise and lower the same stat. So I was effectively a couple of points down.
Mm-hmm.
And that, he just picked it because it was cute and fun. And it turned out to be a sweaty mistake.
Yeah.
And that was just a bummer. And in this game, we had none of that. I think we both actually had at least one of our trait goals right out the gates.
Yes.
So that was great. We had
I wound up
things that clearly aligned.
with a flower hat.
Florist. Yeah, you were kind of like a sweet himbo hippie.
Yeah.
And I was a fucking nose ring, extremely dykey journalist.
Yeah, who was, like, this side of startup bro culture, but for band.
She was also kind of a himbo, but very. But they were both very sort of sweet, and no one was being particularly cruel to anyone else.
Yeah, you weren't a bastard this time. Yeah, the game is enjoyable to play. The systems are well designed, and just one final thing I'd like to mention is that materially, holy crap, this game is gorgeous.
Oh, lovely components. I mean, it's in a box that is way bigger and more expansive than what you need to do this kind of game. In another life, this is a fucking booklet game from itch.io, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason this needs to be what it is as a boxed affair.
But being what it is, as a boxed affair, allows for all sorts of the systems to be even better designed. Like, things... So to make choices secretly and then reveal at the same time, conventionally speaking, use cards. Cards can do that easily. But in the case of Fog of Love, rather than use cards for that, which would, honestly, as a designer, lots of wear on that kind of card, it will show over time, they instead use 4 poker chips, which are impossibly nice to handle. I genuinely am afraid that Fox might be very annoyed with how much I fiddled with my poker chips.
Oh, no, I didn't notice at all. But that chips are good like that because they're supposed to be fiddled with. Like, it's not like card flipping.
Yeah.
Card flicking is really annoying and it wrecks the cards. poker chips are designed to handle like that.
Yeah.
And these are like good expensive ones too. They're really weighty and nice.
Yeah, got a bit of
They're
sand in
not
them.
the shitty ass plastic ones that you get from the dollar shop.
To be clear, these are also plastic ones, but not
Well,
shitty ass plastic.
they have a plastic exterior, but it's not shit plastic. Because,
Yeah.
like, you can feel when a cheap plastic has been used in something, generally speaking. And
Absolutely.
these are not that.
Yeah.
They have a lovely finish and a lovely weight. And they sound great.
It's,
It's clay that's conventionally used inside them, right?
long conversation for another time.
Long conversation for another time. Gotcha.
Are you buying Mexican poker chips?
I'm not buying any poker chips.
Yeah.
But I did buy some from a dollar shop back in the day.
Yes.
And they do not feel nice like these two. But Letter Jam, on the other hand, feels nice like these two.
Yes. Anyway, the box is designed so you can put everything into its space as well. It's got expandability slots. It's got pretty much every component is a really nice version of what it is. It is all a little airy-fairy, tingly-wingly, and the font is a little small for my tastes, but also I'm 43 and I've been wearing glasses my whole life. So
Well, I'm 43 and I have never worn glasses, except for a brief period where I got the wrong prescription because the optometrist wasn't really paying attention. And I had to put on magnifiers for this.
Yeah.
Now, you might argue, Fox, that's because you keep saying you need to go get glasses, but still.
Well, I wasn't going to put your business on the streets.
I'm not someone who has, like, established poor eyesight, and it's just a little bit, the combination of a bit too small and a bit too lightweight. Bolding it or upscaling it would fix that. And it's all on, like, I guess they're probably tarot-sized cards, not the really tall tarot,
Yeah.
but the one that's just kind of, it feels like a double-sized poker card, but it's not actually two poker cards next to each other. ISO has no influence over card sizes, I suppose. It would be great if it did.
ISO probably does, but Momentum is doing a lot.
I don't know that ISO does, actually. I don't think there's any golden rectangle scaling on cards.
Another conversation to look
Another
into
conversation for another time. Anyway, they're oversized cards, is the point. So there's a lot of room to make that text a little bit bigger, and they've chosen not to. Which
Yeah.
you kind of screwed me a little bit, guys. Especially because the game board is so big that you will be constantly having to lean over and pick up cards to read them. Could be better in that respect.
Go.
No, I was going to agree with you on the really nice box storage design. Like, great tray. A little big for the starting cards you get, but obviously they were planning to do expansions right from the start. So, it is what it is.
If I was going to talk about so the Kalwa model of gameplay experience is a little it's a little arcane and it's quite old, and I often have taken to using the description set up by Mark Rosewater for Magic the Gathering, where you have the 4 major player psychographics, which is
yes.
your Tammy, your Janie, and your Spike. And then along the side of them, you have a Vorthos, which I guess also has a Melvin, which, that's not meaningful. The point is that, like, you have players who are here to feel a big experience, you have players here to do something really clever, and then you have players here who are here to win. And the thing that I would say is most surprising about Fog of Love is how spiky it is. How much this is a game for the players who want to win. The systems are intricate, the design is complex, you can ignore the text and just think in terms of signaling and communication and making sure the other player knows where you're trying to go, or trying to mislead them if your cards are getting you that way.
Which, in some cases, might be a bit better, because there are some cards I have a fight with now. Like the one that poses to your partner the question of, do you want to convert to my religion?
Yeah.
And the only options are that they do convert, which costs them sincerity, but gives them an exorbitant amount of happiness. And that they wouldn't change their religion, which costs you happiness and boosts their sincerity. And I'm quite mad about both of those things, because there's no scenario in which you could both go, we don't need to share a religion to be happy.
Yeah.
And also, what's with this proposition that you'd gain an outsized amount of happiness from converting,
Yeah.
but not when your partner converts. You only get a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so fucking strange to me. That definitely poses the idea that changing your religion will make you happier regardless of the scenario. And that's fucking nuts.
That's why the happiest people change their religion every week.
There's a joke here, isn't there?
No.
Okay, you're just making fun
I'm
of
just
it.
making fun of it.
Yeah. That's so weird. Who did that? Who wrote that?
This is where
the cards that get philosophical, I think, could use some fucking work.
Well, to throw hands back into the academic arena, because as I say, most people who talk about games are doing it in a way that's boring and bad. This is an example of what Anna Marie Carusi refers to as a philosophy engine. Now, she was talking about the idea of tools shaping the philosophy of the things those tools are used for. So in the same way that a Dreamweaver or a Squarespace website is going to come with certain assumptions about what the web should look like and should include, this game, by giving you scenarios, the person who wrote the scenarios is inextricably applying something of themselves and what makes sense to them, even if they're working backwards, even if they're just like, oh, we need a card that gives sincerity and happiness or loses you sincerity and happiness in this weird binary way. What flavor can we attach to that? Well, the fact that you reach for this flavor tells me something about what you think of religious conversion, which is interesting.
I mean, it's fine. All art is communication.
Yeah.
And even commercial art is art. But I have a real issue with what's been communicated there.
Absolutely. Hey, Fox.
Yeah?
You got any final thoughts?
I want blank cards for this game. This needs to be editorialized somewhat.
And the blank card pack that you buy should also include stamps so you can make the symbols right.
Yes! Holy shit. I would. I don't know if I would buy expansions for Fog of Love, but I'd buy that.
I'm tempted by 2 of the expansions.
I haven't looked at them yet, so...
Yeah, there's one that's about dating someone who might be a ghost, vampire, or werewolf.
Ooh!
So I'm kinda...
Alright, I'm here for, like, an actually fucking queer Twilight or something.
And the other one is about lockdown, which I want... I have this... Oh, no. I have this extant model of media consumption, which is that we exist in a world where there are 2 parallel universes of media being produced. One in which COVID didn't happen, and one in which it did happen, but it's the only thing that happened.
So, like, the shows that just refuse to acknowledge it, and like...
Yeah.
Never mind all that.
Yeah, sitcoms, for the most part, are not going to talk about how, oh, yeah, I lost my job during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're 6 years on from the tightest point of it, and people largely do not reference it in media. No one is wearing a mask as an ordinary thing. It's just gone from a lot of media representation. Unless you're talking about a piece of media where it is absolutely vital that you know about it, in which case I would point to The Pit. That's right, this whole thing has been a secret puzzle, so a 40-year-old guy can tell you should really be watching The Pit. It's so good. I really enjoyed that TV series.
You could... a good place to go with expansions for this would be to genreify it in ways like that. Like, do one of those sexy medical shows where everyone's sleeping with everyone.
Yeah, I understand there's also one about elderly people, which is like a really sweet addition. It's one of those things where, like, making new stuff for this game is as hard as writing more fiction. There's a lot of room for this game to just expand and expand it forever.
Yes, well, it needs more gay for starters.
And we played with a version that has some of the gay cards already in. Like an old man in a queue stopped us and said, "Are you people allowed to date?" And we were like, "Who are you people?"
Yeah, and Talen, as I recall, was really gunning for gentleness points. So he was like, "Yeah, that's how things are, isn't it good?" And I was like, "Come here, I'm gonna make
Snub
out
your
on your
face."
face all over in front of him. Hey, you looking old man?
I'm gonna put my tongue in your face.
Yeah. I played a moose.
It is funny because I kept on referring to my character as a dozy cow. Positively.
What's that a reference to that they should read?
They should read Gideon the Knight, the book by Tamsin Muir.
Lovely.
All right. Any other shout-outs? Hey, The Heroic Legend of Arslan. Fox really likes that. That's one of her things.
I don't know if I could recommend it, though. Do you enjoy seeing 5 versions of a story, none of which get to be completed except the original source material, which I don't think is even translated from Japanese? Have fun with that.
It's the manga version of that looping gif of a truck approaching a bollard, but never actually hitting it.
I mean, the Arakawa version could make it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, she's got to have some wiggle room, having gotten Yomi no Tsukai to the anime stage.
I was going to say, as long as she's got nothing else she's got to do that she thinks is more important.
What could there possibly be?
Like all of Silver Spoon. How is that more important?
That was before Arslan, surely.
I thought she'd been doing Arslan for like 20 years.
Anyway, now we're talking. That's a conversation for another time. I did have one final note.
Yes.
Which is that when you mentioned normally you do it with cards, but they do it with poker chips for the choosing options. Obviously, the choice for your Ichio game book is just rock, paper, scissors, right?
Yep.
You just limit it to 3 choices, and every go is junk hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've definitely been thinking about that kind of thing since I started playing this game.
Super cool.
Yes. Thank you so much for spending time playing this game with me. It was lovely. I will hope to have better visuals the next time we do a video about a
No
board
way,
game.
no way. This is how real YouTubers do it.
Real YouTubers, mock-up drawings.
One still image for the whole damn show.
Well, this is a way to get Google to host my podcast.
Did I change that into the Danger Mouse theme at the end? Hey, it's whatever.
We're definitely out.
Yes.